Everybody, welcome to Quantum Ascend. I have IONet up on the screen, the daily price chart. This thing hasn't been around too long. Looks like its inception was June of 2024. I put a video out on this a very long time ago, and I looked at the market cap on this thing. So looking at this right now, there's only 200 million IO circulating. There's a total supply of 800 million. So what that's telling me is there's huge inflationary pressure on this asset, okay? So if you guys are trying to use the price chart to calculate where we're going during alt season, you're doing it wrong. You can't do that because of the inflationary pressure. You have to use the market cap chart. So unfortunately, TradingView doesn't have a market cap chart for IONet, neither does charts.cointrader.pro. So we're going to have to do this on our own. What I did here was I took the market cap from Solana, just to use the the measurements, the hundreds of millions. This chart up here is from CoinMarketCap. So this is how the cap has moved for IO.net. Okay. And so what I did now is I brought all that information down here, and this is exactly how it looks, right? That's the high up there at 538 million. This low dropped down to 140 million. The B wave right here popped back up to 531, so almost that high, and then it dropped off. Ultimately, the low down there at 80 million. This hump right here came in at 187 million, and the blue dotted line is where we are at right now. Okay, so I had to get a little cheeky with it, but that's okay. This is why we're here. We're here to learn, and I promise you guys, if you're not doing this, you're gonna end up losing. You're gonna miss out on the prices, and I'll show you why at the very end too. So first thing we want to do here is we got to look at some kind of relief, right? Right now across the board, we're looking at Altseason waves 3, 4, and 5. Looks like what we already had was a 1, right now at a 2, and again, looking at 3, 4, and 5. Where can those things go? So before we dive into that, I showed you all of this and how it is set up. Guys, join the Quantum Circle, entries, exit strategy, emotional and mental clarity, 2 daily macro videos. Link to that in my bio. It's great to do these individual charts, guys, but if you don't understand what's going on with the macro, you are going to lose. So go ahead and check that out. All right. Right here, we had waves 1 and 2. 1, 2, pretty drawn out. What I want to do is I want to pull some fibs here, and I want to see what a full extension of this is going to look like for us here on the market cap chart, right? And again, ignore that. It's not actually SOL. This is IO.net MCAP. All right. So what I'd be looking for here on this third wave is I'd really like to see a full extension of this first drop, right? We haven't been back up there since the Trump pump in November. So that would get us back up near those highs, okay, on the third wave. And that's just taking in consideration this first to second wave drop. The other thing I want to do is I want to pull this down from the B wave, the B to the C wave. We're hoping we can get a full extension out of that, which for IONet would be around 2 billion. Okay, so that is loaded up. The other thing, check it out. A full extension of this drop, I see confluence with the 786 on this whole range. Too clean to ignore right there. That's the word I was looking for, clean. So we're going to be looking at that up there on the third wave. In a second, I will take this information and extrapolate it over to the US price chart. But first, we got to work on this. Okay, so we have that entire run up back there, and we got to look. Fourth wave, typically we're looking around like a 35 to 50% drawdown here in an alt season environment. And a lot of times it can come back down towards this first level. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be that deep, but I look here and I do see some confluence between some of these different charts, right? Right here, I see the 2618 of this near range and the 0.5 of this whole range. There's some confluence right there around 300 million. The concern with that, it's only about a 30% drop, right? And with this being a smaller market cap token, you should see it drop a little bit further, closer to that 50% mark. So let's see, if we were to do 50, does that bring us anywhere near around that 1618? Sure does. All right, right around 237 million. If we were to retest this last high, 58% drop, possible, but not my base here. I'm looking at that 1618 and this 382 right around 250 million. Nice round number. Come in right around there at 250 mil for wave 4. Okay, well, now what are we looking at for wave 5 here? The hope would be we're able to go a full extension of the market cap, right? But we're not entirely sure if we're going to be able to get that much. So in a situation where we do have this type of drop off here, down to, I want that to be right at 250 million. It's pretty close to that 382 right there. Well, what would we look at that range, and is there any confluence? I look at that. Full extension of that up around 1.1 bill gets us near the 1.27 billion mark, right? So we'll say that it does get a little bit overextended there and we're able to hit that. What would this look like across the board? How big is each wave? Well, you'd have wave 1 at about 135%. You would have wave 3 at 314%, so 4.2x. And then a wave 5 in this situation would be the longest at 390%. Okay. Obviously, we're going to want to watch these levels as we start to hit it, the 1618. And then we showed, the full extension of that other range right around a billion, a nice round number. But we'll say for now that we're looking at our primary up there at 1.27 billion. We'll use this 2 billion as our blow off. All right, so now what we need to do is take this information, bring it over to the USD price chart. We're looking at this third wave to go 314% from the bottom. So notice we set new all-time highs here on the market cap chart, right? Let's see if that happens here on the actual price chart. So we said other thing too is you can see this was setting new lows here, but it didn't on the market cap. So 314%, where does that take us? That does give us a little bit of gas. 314, right about there. 228 is kind of what we're looking at here on this next move. Get us a little bit of gas. I mean, this has been brutal, right? We've been down at these lows since April. So up to there, we said then the ensuing drop right here, I think we said it was close to 50. Yeah, we're looking at like 44% on that drop. Where does a 44% drop get us? And those aren't fun to sit through, that's for sure. 44, right there. Bop. And then from that point in time, another 390%, 4.9x. Where does that have us? That probably is going to set a new high. Is it? Oh, this is juicy. This is so juicy. A double top. 390%. That measured move on the price chart brings us to a double top for IONET. That's wild, that confluence right there. So that looks pretty good to me. Back up there. Where does that put us? That puts us at like 620, right? Could stop out a little shy at 6, but I mean, that is a double top for IO. So what we're looking at is, again, from a price perspective, this is a little different, but we are looking at the market cap at waves 3, 4, and 5. Wow, that was a lot of math, friends, but that's what we got to do sometimes. That's how we do it. So we're looking for this third wave to get us up to around 225. Fourth wave back down to $127. Fifth wave blow off 620, back around that last high. This can happen very quickly. This fourth wave might only last a week or two, but it can be violent. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Like I mentioned before, join the Quantum Circle real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel. I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that in the bio. If not, just super appreciative you guys are here. If you could follow, like, repost. I want to reach as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope everyone has an excellent Monday. I'll talk to you in a bit.